Hello. Hi. Welcome to Shop Talk. Today, friends, we are talking about the difference between an email marketing platform and a CRM. Which one you need, why they're different, how to use them, and we're going to talk about some strategies behind picking the right one for you. I'm super psyched to be here. It is very loud. We right below where my office is where our community like garbage and recycling bins are, and the trucks are out and they're doing their thing and they're so loud. Thankfully I have a good mic that you guys don't have to hear it, but I sure do. Friends, welcome to my channel. Hello if you are new, welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Lindsay Johnson, aka the Radical Connector. I work with service-based businesses to help them get their sales systems set up, help them scale, help them grow businesses that truly improve their lives, impact the world. And I'm real nerdy about working with people who are real nerdy about being business owners. So, welcome. Who is here? Give us a what's up in the chat. Would love to hear who's on. Like I said, today we're going to be talking about the difference between an email marketing or email lists and CRM. I have a bunch of notes to get through today. This is a big one. It might be a little bit a little bit, what's the word, advantageous, a little bit of a wishful thinking that we'll get through all of this content, but I sure as heck hope we do. So let's get into it right off the hop. And then we will chit chat as we go. Please share your questions, share your thoughts, and we'll just dive in together. So first up, do I need an email list or a CRM or both? So I'd love to hear if you currently have an email list, use an email marketing platform. This would be like a MailerLite or a MailChimp, something like that, a kit. Do you already have one? Are you building an email list? How's it going? Do you have a CRM? This is more so like a HubSpot or, oh God, what I use less annoying CRM, but there's different CRMs out there. This is more of a customer relationship management system where it's tracking your leads and following up. So tell me, which one do you use? Do you use one? Do you use both? And I'm so curious if your email lists or your CM is driving sales for you. And do you know how to use them to drive sales? Do you know that they are tools for getting sales, not just a nice or an annoying, a nice or an annoying to do that you have to do as a business owner? But there is an actual purpose for each one, and each one has a different purpose. Do you feel disorganized in all of this? Do you feel like, okay, yeah, everyone says I have to have an email list. So I started one, but I never really email them and I don't know what to send and I'm afraid of bugging them. Or have you heard I have to set up a CRM and I'm paying through the nose for a super expensive CRM that I never knew use and it's super confusing? Does it feel like you're not using any of that and you have DMs over here on this social media platform, a bunch of emails over here, and you've got to follow up with this person? And wait, where was that person that I talked to that was interested in working with me all that time ago? And you feel like a little unorganized. People are all over the place and you're just feeling scattered when it comes to staying on top of your sales opportunities. Tell me what is it's like your current state. I want to hear your current state of using emails or CRMs or nothing at all. I'm waiting. I'm waiting to hear your comments. I'm waiting to hear what you have to say. I'm like, why? You guys are leaving comments, right? Nothing's coming up. Tell me what's going on. So, when we think about an email list, right? And I've already alluded to this, right? So your email list, it's a collection of subscribers who like what you are about and want to hear from you, right? So it is a way of creating a container for all the people that you are encountering, whether it is, passively, maybe you're on a podcast or you're public speaking somewhere or you're creating content somewhere, or it's directly you are networking, you are hosting workshops and getting in front of your audience, right? You're getting referrals. There are people that you want us to stay connected to you, that you want to keep in your ecosystem for either selling now or selling down the road, right? So an email list allows you to create a container for those folks. So another thing to think about when we think about that email list is it's not just about, oh, I'm gathering leads in one place. It's also saying, okay, this is where I'm building community. This is where I'm building relationships. We're getting some back and forth communication. I'm getting to know my subscribers. They're getting to know me. We are forming a bit of a relationship. You might even be one of those people like this, right? Where we do monthly gatherings. You maybe do monthly workshops, or I don't know, you have like a journaling co-working day, or I know someone that has bookkeeping body doubling days, right? Other people that do workshops and talk with their area of expertise every month. So you might have an online gathering where people literally get off of that email and they get in person with you, whether it's virtually or in real life, right? So email lists are a really great way to be able to build community and take those relationships off of the computer, right? It's also where you're going to be getting that thought leadership content started. I'd love to hear if anyone here thinks of themselves as a thought leader. If anyone here wants to be a thought leader, okay. So thought leaders is just somebody who has something to say about their area of expertise. You are thinking in creative ways, shifting your perspective so that you're growing and learning. You're kind of bringing innovation to your area of expertise, as I said, your world, right? So your email list is a great way to begin that thought leadership journey or reinforce it, as well as establish yourself as a subject matter expert. You are damn good at what you do, and you are well versed and experienced, and you know what you're talking about, right? It's also where you're going to send those, weekly or bi-weekly or monthly newsletters. You're going to be nurturing those relationships. You're going to be doing, if you have a launch model business, you'll be doing your launches through emails. And of course, you'll be having sales emails. Okay. And so typically a sales email is going to look like book a call or buy this thing or sign up for this event. There's something that you want them to buy into, to purchase, or to sign up for, right? So as I said, examples of email marketing platforms are going to be things like MailerLite, MailChimp, Kit, Flowdesk. I actually use MailerLite, and I have an affiliate link for you here if you don't already have it. The reason that I love MailerLite is because, first of all, it's free for your first 500 subscribers. Used to be 1,000, they dropped it down to 500, but it's free for your first 500 subscribers. So you can get started right away without having to put a bunch of money out, right? I love MailerLite because it has, when I was switching, I used to use Kajabi back in the day. I was on their all-in-one platform website, email marketing, like funnels, automations. I was there for years, but it just kept getting more and more expensive. And I found that it was getting, in some ways, kind of worse and worse. And I think this is a typical path for like tech companies or SaaS companies that try to become an all-in-one. They end up not doing anything well because they're trying to do too many things. So I ended up leaving them. It was paying like, oh God, like $300 a month. It was like $300 a month. It was getting worse and worse. I was like, I'm out of here. So when I was researching, MailerLite really came through as one of the top email platforms, marketing platforms, because it has a really good deliverability rate, which means your likelihood of ending in the spam is quite low. It has a really good like sender reputation with like email programs like Gmail, Outlook, whatever. Again, less likely to end in the spam. Really user friendly, really easy to understand, quick to get going. Man, do you guys remember like MailChimp? I know MailChimp was still around. I feel like that was everybody's first email marketing platform back in the day. Talk about annoying, frustrating user experience. I don't recommend it. I definitely am a MailerLite fan. So I've got my affiliate link there. If you don't already have one, get yourself signed up if it makes sense by the end of our talk today. So email lists, again, that is that I am creating a container. I am building my thought leadership expertise. I am building relationships, and I am sending out sales emails. I would like people to make purchases from my emails, or at least book a call to talk to me about making a purchase. Okay, email marketing. There we go. CRMs. Let's talk about CRMs. So CRMs are different. These are what are known as relationship management tools, or like client customer relationship management. Sorry, I'm like, is it client relationship or customer? Either way, but they're a relationship management system. So it's not where you send out mass emails to your audience to sell or to share a podcast you've been on or to share a thought leadership piece. This is managing your leads, okay? These can be, and we could even say managing your networks, all right? These are potential customers, existing customers, referral partners, collaborators, like whatever, anyone that you're meeting that you want to stay connected with. But this allows you to do things like book and schedule follow-ups, take notes. You can do this thing usually with most of them where you can track the value of a lead over time. So like they might be somebody who comes in and not only does repeat business with you, but refers business to you, right? So it's a way for you to have a bird's eye view of the networks and the people and the leads in your business ecosystem and see what is happening with those relationships, but also get really granular with reading the notes, tracking the sales process, scheduling follow-ups. There's oftentimes automations involved. You can be having contracts or like intake forms involved. You could be having automation, so things that are triggered to go out automatically. What else? Yeah, sales pipeline visibility. That's the fancy word. Sales pipeline visibility. When I say you can look out. Yeah, reminders, needs, values, contracts. I said that all that. So that's basically that kind of a thing. So examples include HubSpot, Honeybook, Dubsado. Again, I use Less Annoying CRM. I'll share my affiliate link in here as well. The thing with Less Annoying, I find that a lot of CRMs are so noisy. I remember, you guys, I tried getting onto CRMs for years, and I would even hire people to help me get them set up, and they're so noisy. There's just so much information to have to try to like figure out, and all the bells and whistles and all the features, and I just found it so frustrating. So I would never use it. And that was fine in, sort of the early years of business because my network was smaller and sales, leads were not as bountiful. And so I could kind of get away with that, with just like going through emails and following up and setting reminders in my calendar. That was fine. But at this point, absolutely not. I mean, there's so many people I'm talking to all the time that are coming inbound that I'm reaching out to. And I forget more people than I remember to follow up with. So having a CRM allows me to be able to, for me, what's most important, how I use it the most, is setting myself reminders to follow up with people. So one of the things, for example, you could do, let's say that you have a tag inside your CRM, okay? And it is just for like general networking. No, I'm gonna change that. Let's say it's for speaking opportunities, right? And let's say you've been building out your networks of people who are community leaders, organizational leaders. They host events. They have content platforms. There's opportunities for you to get visible and to speak, whether it's paid speaking gigs or lead generation speaking gigs. So maybe you're not getting paid, or you're getting paid a small amount, but it's because you're speaking to your ideal customer to generate leads, right? So let's say you have this tag in your CRM, and all these people who have a door that you can potentially walk through into some speaking or visibility opportunities all have this tag. Well, you can set up reminders and automations and things like that. So you can say, okay, the last time I talked to this person was on this date, and this is what we talked about, and you're able to track things like, here's the opportunity I got, here's how much I paid, here's whatever, right? But then you can say, follow up in 6 months to just check in, right? And you can set that reminder, it comes to you, and you can go, oh yeah, right, I got to follow up with this person. Hey, how's it going? Because you'll probably have heard me say this before, but when you have a really like engaged, diverse network that's really aligned and strategic, and when I say strategic, meaning that you're building with people where there's alignment, there's cohesion, collaboration, So when you have this network, a lot of times all it takes is a simple, hey, how's it going? What's going on? What's new? You want to grab a catch-up call? And that oftentimes is enough to just nudge them to go, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you wrote. I actually need someone for this. Are you available? Right? And so we don't have to like overly sell ourselves in these situations. We just need to make sure we're staying in touch, right? And then also from the perspective, because I don't want you to think it's only about, leads and sales, and I must move the business forward, but also, do you know how many biz besties I have? So many that I forget about because we're all so busy. And so it also allows me to have that tag for biz besties. And I can go, oh my gosh, this person, we haven't talked in like a year. How are you doing? Maybe we connect on LinkedIn or Instagram here and there, but we haven't had a proper catch up, right? And so, it allows me to avoid that 1 year going, a year without talking, and say, okay, let's do that schedule that follow up for me to reach out and say, hey, do you want to have a catch up call? right? So again, think about as you could say customer relationship management, but you can just say like network relationship management. It allows you to manage all of the cool people in your life and stay on top of those relationships, as well as continue to automate that sales pipeline. Because I'm sorry, I'm getting so nerdy. I hope you all are loving this. I'm getting nerdy because when it comes to your leads, your sales leads, right, potential customers or current customers, you also can really automate that sales process through forms and bookings and email communications all in one place. So have I sold you on CRMs yet? But here's the thing. We're going to talk about if you need it or not yet, because there are ways of doing it that are simple. And then when you're ready for CRM software, you can go for it. What a little bit less annoying is it's like $15 US a month. We'll get into some of the perks of why I love it, but it's cheap and it's easy and they have like really good customer service. You can actually phone and talk to somebody, which is unheard of in today's world with all this tech and SaaS, this software as a service stuff, right? So I'm going to get your comments in a second, Lacey. So into these key distinctions here. So think of these two things, all right? Email list. This is audience, marketing, and sales. CRM is relationships and sales tracking. So those are the easiest ways to give those two definitions there. All right, Lacey, what do you got for us here? You said, I actually just left MailerLite because even with templates, it felt too mentally burdensome to compose new emails each month, so I didn't send an email. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, you gotta just find a way through that. Wherever you go, MailerLite, MailChimp, Flow, Kit, Drip, Kajabi, wherever you go, it's going to be the same. So unless I'm wrong, unless you went somewhere where it's not the same, but it's going to be the same. You have to write the email and then send the email. One of the ways that you could how I make things less mentally burdensome is I develop my own internal SOPs, standard operating procedures, which is just a fancy way of saying a list of instructions. And so then I don't have to think about it every time, right? And there is, what is it called? There's this really cool, again, SaaS, software as a service, that it's like a plugin and it documents everything that you're doing. You're clicking here, you're typing this, you're going here, and it documents it for you. And then it's a way of creating SOPs kind of automatically. You got to maybe go in and clean it up and edit it in a bit, but it's really helpful. I think it starts with an S. No, I'll have to look it up. But what I might do in this case is I might say, okay, so log in, and I would make sure that it is saved in my what's it called, bookmarks, my browser bookmarks, so I can easily click it. And I would have obviously my password keeper set up there so that it automatically populates that. For my MailerLite, I also have a third party authentication, so I have like my little authenticator app. So once I get logged in, I have to just put the code in. You guys, you should need to have your what is that? Did I say third party? Your two-factor. You should be having your two-factor turned on for literally everything, banks, websites, email, what literally anything that you log in. Please make sure your two-factor, like Instagram, social media, make sure that stuff's turned on. Yes, it's annoying. It's an extra step. You've got to put a code in, but it stops you from getting hacked and losing all of your stuff. Anyway, so I would say, have it on the browser, have my login information right there in case I need it, and then it'd be like, okay, click here, write this, say this. Like I would just give myself that sort of list of instructions. And especially if it's things like, because I do a lot of tagging, so different groups. So it's like include this group, exclude that group, and then even your emails, you could even be doing templated emails like yourself. Like you can say, like, this is the standard flow of my emails that I like to go through. So again, it's just looking at, if you want to take the mental burden off, then you're going to have to spend some time giving yourself clear instructions so that it's very easy for you to get into action. I don't know if that made any sense. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna, yeah, like doing an email each month is gonna, that's just email marketing, right? Their thing is you just hire someone to do it for you, right? Okay, Patricia, how could you make it feel easy to write an email? Okay, so whenever things become sticking points for me, it's usually because, for me, and I'm curious for you guys, usually for me, it's because I don't know what I'm trying to do. So there's no like strategy or plan, right? It's like saying, I don't know, I want to go on a road trip. What should I pack? Well, are you going somewhere cold? Are you going somewhere warm? Do you need hiking boots or do you need a bathing suit, right? Like you kind of have to know why you're doing it and what you're doing. So when it comes to email marketing, you kind of want to think about who's on my email list? What do they want to hear from me? What am I wanting to share with them? What is the point of this email? What is the call to action? Right? It like for example, the email I threw out this morning, right? Was like, "Hey, Shop Talk's happening today. Here's the details, here's the link, come join us," right? Or I might say, maybe it's going to be a sales email and I might say, here's the struggle you're most likely dealing with. Here's the solution that I've come up with. If this is of interest, click here to buy it or click here to book a phone call, right? So you just need to understand why am I like who's on this list and why am I messaging them and why do they want to hear from me? So if you can start with those three questions, right? And then from there go, okay, how do I accomplish that through an email? What do they need to know? What do I want them to know? What do I want them to do? Right? I when it comes to copywriting, I generally ask these three questions, right? What do I want people to know? How do I want people to feel? And what do I want people to do? So I answer those three questions, and then it already is now giving me a bit of a skeleton for my email, right? A bit of an outline. So if we were to run through an example, okay, so I had sent an email out, a sales email on lead generation and CRM management, because that's a service that we offer now that's been really fun. And so in this email, I think, what do I want them to know? Well, I want them to know what lead generation and CRM management is and how it helps them get more sales and how it helps them like take off the most annoying part of selling that a lot of people don't like, which is getting the sales call booked, right? Or starting the conversation. How do I want them to feel? Well, I want them to feel like excited to have a bunch of sales calls in their calendar. I want them to feel less mentally burdened by going, how do I get sales calls? How do I reach out? What do I do? I want them to feel supported because they have people helping them with this. All right. What do I want them to do? Well, I want them to book a call to talk about it. Right. Or maybe in some cases it might be I want them to sign up for it. But in this case, it requires a call because there's an upfront investment of $3,000. And so that's going to require a phone call. Someone's most likely not going to just purchase that on a link. It's going to require a phone call, right? So what do I want them to do? I want them to book a call. Right. So when you kind of just start with those questions, how do I want them to feel? What do I want them to know? What do I want them to do? It already is helping you build the skeleton of that email. Does that make sense? So the three things again, hang on, what were you saying? The three, what are those three things again? Yeah. So it is what I want them to know, how do I want them to feel, what do I want them to do, and what were the first three things I said? I said, what did I say at the beginning? Right. It is who's on my list, what do they want to hear from me, what do I want to share with them? Right? My brain, our brain's thinking threes, right? My brain always thinks in threes. Anyways, so start with that. Who's on my list? What do they want to hear from me or know from me? What do I want to share with them? That's the strategy, right? Then what do I want them to know? How do I want them to feel? What do I want them to do? That's the content, right? So if you just answer those three questions, and again, you know how I talked about having an email SOP, right? Standard operating procedure. That can be in there. You can put those three questions. Who's on the list? What do they want? What do I want for them? Right? And then no, feel, do. You write those on there. Like it's just going to make it so much easier to start writing those emails. Now I do also have, where is the quickest way to get this for you? Hang on a second. Let me think about this. Hang on. Because I have a link. Okay, give me a sec. Hang on. Hold, please. Euro. Oh, wait, I forgot about the control, the find function. There we go. So I have a really fabulous affiliate link. This is for Liz Wilcox's email marketing membership. Hang on, Liz's email marketing membership. I spelt it wrong, but oh my gosh, you get the point. Whatever. There's a bunch of typos in there. But with this email marketing membership, it's $9 a month, US for Liz's membership. And she sends out every Monday, she sends out email templates and she's got a bunch of resources. So if you are new to email marketing, I definitely recommend getting on her membership. It just, you basically every Monday just open up and you can either use the email template she sent, or if you don't like it, you can go look through her archives and, she's got like some great search features and you can go and like use other templates to inspire you to write emails. She's got examples of sales emails, emails to get more clicks, emails to get more replies. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but when there's email marketing, because we're right now talking about the difference between email and CRM. But if we were talking about email marketing, there is, I'm trying to think if I've got a YouTube on this. I know we've done like some live workshops on this, but I'm trying to think if we did an email, if I have an email video. Anyway, when it comes to email marketing, there's things that you want to have happen. You want to be having them reply to your emails. You want to be having them open your emails. You want to be having them click on your emails. And all of that is because it increases your deliverability rate and the likelihood that you do not end up in spam, right? So there's certain things we want to have happen, right? And then obviously we want to make sure we're attracting the right people to the email list and that those people are enjoying what we're reading or what they're reading and they are taking action to make purchases when that time is right for them. Selling to the email list, which it rightfully so. I get that. Liz has some really great sales email templates that you can follow. But we have to remember that the email list is a tool for your business to market and sell, right? Unless you are a content creator that is paid through brand sponsorships and brand deals, and that's where you make your money. If your money comes directly from your customers, your clientele, then that email list it needs to function to drive sales. That doesn't mean we only sell all the time because that gets annoying and boring. And I want you to stretch your brain and spread your wings. And I want you to share cool shit in your email list with your email subscribers, right? I want you to build relationships and share the stuff that you're really really good at, and you have to send sales emails. So there you go. That's all I'm going to say on that. Oh, hey. My biggest barrier to starting an email list is not knowing how to encourage people to join. Yeah, and that comes down to marketing, right? So if you haven't, I did this. I probably won't do it again this year. I do maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it. I do have a like a list building accelerator that I take people through where we go through like creating your lead magnets, your email nurture sequence, your marketing strategy, all of that. But you want to think about again these questions of who needs to be on that email list, why do they want to be on it, and why do I want them to be on it, right? And then once you kind of answer those questions, you go, okay, so then am I creating a lead magnet? And that is a whole strategy in and of itself. And if I am creating a lead magnet, again, you guys, we're getting too deep here. So the lead magnet sort of pillars you want to or questions you want to answer is number one, what is the first aha that people have when they work with me? Right? Number two, what is the thing that I ultimately want them to purchase? And then number three, what is a quick win I can give them in like 10 minutes or less? Right? So when you answer those questions, you got to look at that and step back and go, okay, so then what kind of lead magnet makes sense? Is it a quiz? Is it a little mini course? Is it a simple video or a form? Or is it a list of things? Like, what is this thing that's going to replicate that first aha they have when working with you? Will give them a quick win so they feel like, oh crap, that was awesome. I can't believe that was free. Like, wow, we want that. And it aligns with what you ultimately want them to purchase so that it's not something that's coming out of left field from what you ultimately sell, right? So when you answer those questions, it kind of helps you go, okay, this is what the lead magnet should be, and this is what the lead magnet should be about. Because there's the first, the what is it? Is it a quiz? Is it a whatever, whatever? And what is it about? What is the content of it? Right. So once you get that lead magnet, you get it created, you have it on your site. Now everything that you do, you want to be promoting that lead magnet. I used to have one years ago called the 4 business building basics every new entrepreneur needs to know. And like whether I was speaking or I was networking or I was on a call with somebody or whatever, like I was creating content, it didn't matter. I would say, go get this little course, right? It's going to help you start getting sales, or I would say, hey, do you want me to send you this course? And I'll push you on my email list, right? So once you have the lead magnet, which acts as a focal point, as a thing to talk about, as a thing to promote, then you want to be promoting it in every single business activity that you're doing. That makes sense. You want to say, do you want me to send you this? Do you want to grab this? Do you want to sign up for this? Now go get this thing. So it's there again, that there's multi sort of layers to that, but that is the basic structure of how you think about making a lead magnet and then how you use a lead magnet. Then there's also like the email behind that. So when they come in, you want to have a nurture sequence. This isn't a sales sequence. This is a nurture sequence. You're getting them to get to know you, right? And then after that email sequence is done, they dump into your regular emails and you just build a relationship and sell every once in a while. That's how that works. You guys, this does all stuff that I do all day, every day for years. And so it is in my head and it's just a matter of accessing it and then letting it come out. But for you, if this is all new stuff, right, that probably felt really overwhelming. So watch this video again. I actually even have one on, hang on, let me grab it. I actually have a YouTube video on this as well. It's old. It's an oldie. So, it's going to still be more or less relevant. I don't know. There could be stuff on there that's a little bit outdated. I don't know, but it's because I teach strategy. So the strategies are still the same. Hang on. Let me get that. There we go. There you go. So here's the super simple, list building. So I will say that if this is something that you are really serious about, this is definitely something that is worth investing in support with. Because the amount of times over the years that I have seen people like create lead magnets that don't make sense, they're too much, they're not enough, they don't make sense. And then the welcome sequence isn't accomplishing the things that it's supposed to do from a technical, strategic perspective, and also from a relationship building perspective. And then the ongoing emails are missing the mark. There's just, it's one of those things where if you want to do this right, I really recommend like working with me or working with somebody else to do it right, because it is a really important sales tool in your toolbox that we want to be including. Okay. I put a link to book a call if you want to talk about working together with me on this. Okay. Is there anything else here? No. All right. So let's keep going. Oh, what do we say? Yes, I see advice online about how oh, what? Hang on. What just happened? Sorry, I don't know what just happened there. Anyway, one of the things that like also, and if you know me, you know why this will make me a bit bonkers. But like when entrepreneurs waste so much time on trying to find the perfect lead magnet and make the perfect lead magnet and make the perfect, and they spend so much time on it. And you could be doing sales in that time, right? And so we want to go, I do really believe your lead magnet should not take you more than an afternoon to make. If it does, you're going to, it's too much, it's too extra. It should be answer those questions, think about it. It should be something that's simple to create and get going, because the lead magnet, it's a tool, right? It's a here's my chapstick. It's a tool, right? This helps my lips feel moisturized, right? So I'm not distracted by dry lips when I'm talking. It's a tool, but it's just a tool. It's just here. It's just doing its thing. I have to find it, take the cap off, screw it on, put it on. You know what I mean? I have to use it. So a lead magnet is just a tool, but if you're not using it, it's irrelevant. And so people will spend so much time making it and then they won't promote it. they won't go do the activities that they have to do to promote it. And so remember, it shouldn't take you all day every day. It shouldn't take you months. I'm talking half a day. Let's get it going and let's start marketing it and let's start using it as a tool to pull people into our world and get some sales. All right, what do we got for Patricia? I have at least 10 to 15 and really a couple drive most of my leads. I spend a good amount of time avoiding sales conversations that started my business. Yeah. Yeah. If you've got 10 to 15 lead magnets, probably. It's too many lead magnets. And here's the thing. If we think about a lead magnet, shop talks are a lead magnet, right? Hey, join our shop talk. Save your like sign up here and I'll send you a reminder, right? Or like if I'm doing a workshop, or something's like a special kind of thing. It's like anything where I'm promoting that I require an email to access is a lead magnet. So it doesn't always have to be a static thing, right? It could even be like, even if you are doing a networking call, that can be a version of a lead magnet. Because like a lot of times on my calls, I don't do this anymore for reasons that I won't go into. But I for the longest time would have, do you want to join my email list? And if they clicked yes, I had an automation set up where it automatically added them and they got an email welcome sequence, right? And so like anything can be a lead magnet. And also, you don't need a lead magnet. You could just have join our email community, right? Or join our community. Click here. We send you emails every week about this. Like you don't even need to have an official lead magnet. You just have an opt-in on your website and tell people why they want to be on it, right? So, again, it's just a tool, guys. It's just a tool, right? What is this? Love that you found some. Oh, you're not talking to me. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's keep it going. So do you actually need both? All right. So back to again, CRMs, email marketing, right? Email list, email marketing. That is audience building, marketing and sales. Again, the CRM is sales tracking, networking / customer management. Okay. Two different things. Crab hands. All right. So do you actually need both? So let's talk about for folks that are in the early stage, because most people on these shop talks are still pretty early stage, right? So we want to start simple. All right. So the questions you need to be asking, first of all, is do you want to build an audience and market and sell via email? So that's the first thing. Do you want to build an audience and market and sell via email? So this is when we might look at someone who's a content creator. They have an online business, or your ideal customer wants to stay connected to you and to hear from you. Okay. So there still may be a sales call, like online businesses, people make a purchase online, right? When it's like most service-based businesses, there's a sales call that's going to happen, right? So they'll still do that sales call, but they want to stay connected, right? Your customer wants to stay connected and wants to hear from you. So are you a content creator? Do you have an online business, or does your ideal customer want to stay connected to you and hear from you? If the answers are yes to those, then you're going to want to have an email list, right? Now, the other question is, do you want to stay on top of potential and current customers and all the people in your network, right? So this is going to be that you use sales calls to get sales, right? You have a diverse network that you don't want to forget about, and you want to understand the sales process and pipeline and automate it as much as you can. Okay. So do you want to stay on top of potential and current customers and your networks? And if the answer is yes, then you're going to want a CRM. Okay. But here's the thing. You don't have to, it can be a DIY CRM. It doesn't have to be anything too fancy right now. Okay. We're going to get there. So if you are not getting consistent leads, it doesn't matter. So you need to think about how you have to focus on the visibility and the networking and getting actual people into your ecosystem. That needs to be your priority. All right. We don't need 15, Patricia, I'm sorry. We don't need 15 lead magnets and a fancy CRM if you're not talking to people, if you're not generating leads or interest or connections. Okay. So that needs to be always, always first. All right. Now, that's going to look, like I said, that's the networking, that's this public speaking, that's content marketing and funnels, right? That is getting out there and moving and shaking. All right. Now, if leads are coming in and you are noticing that you are not following up, right? You're probably going to want to set up some sort of CRM process, something that's going to help you stay on top of everybody so that it's not all in your brain and you don't wake up in the middle of the night one night and go, oh my God, Brenda, I forgot about Brenda. Like we want to have something based on whatever you're at, budget and capacity, to be able to keep track of people. All right. So if you are audience building, you're going to need an email list. Okay. So again, that is, I am building out an audience. I want to sell something online, or I have customers that want to stay connected, that will eventually make a purchase, right? Then I need an email list. Again, overlap exists, right? But they serve different purposes. And what I really want to just really like hammer home here is I don't want you to overcomplicate it and think you have to have fancy software. I just want you to have it in your head straight. Am I building an audience that I want to market and sell to? Email list, right? Do I need to stay on top of all the people in my networks, including my sales pipeline and sales customers? CRM, right? So I'm going to hit pause there and I want to hear what's kind of landing for you. What are you already realizing? Have you been looking at this sort of backwards, or have I pointed out something that you maybe haven't thought about and are missing? Does this make you think, okay, I should do this and that, or this and not that? What's kind of coming up? All right. I want my emails to be so awesome that people just want to sign up. Listen. Can you please raise your hands? Raise your hands if you thought or you think, I just want people to find me. I'm just going to have an offer so good, a website so delicious, emails that are so captivating, a podcast that is so intriguing that people are just going to clamor. They're just going to find me. They're just going to wake up one day and go, Lindsay Johnson, who's this person? I better go find them. Literally everybody wants that. That's not the way it works. We got to market. Even if we do want people to stumble upon us, right? To trip upon us, we still have to market. We still have to market. Even if we want people to refer us, we still have to network, right? We got to work, right? We have to do the work. But what you can do is have emails that are so awesome that when they do sign up, they can't wait to read them, right? And I mean, what's really cool with your business too is like, because sharing imagery in emails can put you in the spam. Like you'll notice that a lot of my emails are not super duper heavy on images. I might send a few here and there, if we have events and things. And again, there's technical things around this. Like your emails should be less than, I think it's less than 25% image and 75% needs to be text, right? Anyways, again, there's technical things around email marketing that are real that a lot of folks don't know. Anyways, and there's YouTube videos on that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's a secret. You can find that out. It's just that most people don't know that these rules exist. You have to go find them, right? Anyway, so for yourself, like you could be like if you want the visual component of what you do to be a part of your email marketing, you could almost have like a monthly, like I'm just picturing like something that's visual that more so maybe lives on your website. So like it could be like a blog, I'm guessing. Yeah, it could be a blog where there's a visual component to that blog. And then the blog and the visual thing, like it's it's all kind of interconnected for folks, right? And then in the email list, you would direct them to the blog, and then that visual could be there, right? Because you use such a visual component to, I would say component to what you do, but it is what you do, right? So I would think about how can I use those visuals for this delightful, fun experience for my subscribers. But most likely that would be like a blog on your website, because I wouldn't want to like risk your emails always going to the spam because it's so visual heavy, imagery heavy. Does that make sense? What did you say here? There's the reason I hired you. Sorry, that was probably loud. I keep spiking my mic. Oh, tough love wrapped in sugar. Oh, I may have forgotten about Brenda. Yeah, right. That's what happens. Is like I literally, like the amount of times that I'll be like, oh my God, it's been like 2 years, and it's like how, like there's somebody that I was just talking with. Last time I talked, they were going through a separation. Now they are fully living with somebody in another province. Like I'm like, wait, no, same province, but complete other side of the province. I'm like, wait, who's this guy? What's going on? Because life goes so fast, right? Don't forget about Brenda. You know, I know, you know. What do you think of that idea of creating like that visual kind of like a visual blog text type cool ass thing and then sending people there so that you're getting to like really showcase, your skills and what you do, and your work is so delightful, right? You can create this delightful experience. I think it's more what I meant, that folks are actually excited to emails. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, they will be if your emails are good and you're getting the right people on your list, right? Okay. Hang on. That makes sense. Okay, cool. Good. Sorry, Brenda. Yeah, you like the idea of a blog. Yeah, that'd be really fun. And then again, now we're like kind of doubling up because a blog you can optimize for SEO or for like geo, like generative engine optimization, like ChatGPT and all those. You can optimize it for that. So it's going to give you good SEO on the website, good searchability online. And now you have something to share. So you share it in your email list, you share it on LinkedIn. You can take pieces of that and repurpose that content for individual LinkedIn posts or individual Instagram posts. Like once you kind of like pull that thread, you realize, oh, there's a lot that I can do with this. And, taking this piece of content, repurposing it, sharing it, and then guess what? The call to action is to get on your email list. So it becomes this thing that you share with your email list and that also builds your email list, right? All right, I'm still getting stuck on what content my clients will be interested in. Okay, so you got to think on that. And this is the part of, you need to know your market. You need to know your market. Who is your ideal customer, right? And what is it that they want that you do, right? So I usually kind of look at this into four ways, right? Which is, what are their core problems? What's messing up their lives? What are their core problems? Then underneath that, what are the symptoms that they're experiencing? Because a lot of times people don't necessarily understand the core problem, but they sure as heck experience those symptoms, right? So I might say, if my ideal customer is service-based businesses, right? Service-based entrepreneurs. Okay, so their core problem, it could be a few different things. Let's talk about sales for a second. They don't know how to sell. They don't have a sales system, right? But if I'm out here saying, oh, you don't have a sales system, oh, you don't have a sales system, oh, you don't have a sales system, that just might bounce off them, right? But if I say your symptoms, you are working your butt off and not getting sales. You are drowning in busy work that all feels urgent and important, and you do not know what to prioritize. You are listening to all the gurus, doing all the things you're being told to do, and still nothing is happening. You are getting on a sales call and kind of panicking or avoiding sales calls altogether. You think selling is icky and feels gross and you're avoiding it, right? So if I think of the symptoms they're experiencing, those are the things that they're doing or experiencing. That's more relatable. So think about your ideal customers, friends, and think about, what is the core problem? What is the actual issue? And then what are the symptoms that they're experiencing? I don't know why I'm tapping my face. The third thing is, what do they need? What do they need? You all need a sales system, and you need business literacy and sales skills, right? So what do they need? This is what they're missing. They need this. Then you go, what do they want? Because they may not understand what they need, but they do know what they want, right? I want to write better emails. I want to make a lead magnet. I want to set up a CRM, right? What do they want? This is where we get into the conversation around sell them what they want, give them what they need, right? When I first started my business way back in 2013, it was the Networking Boutique, and it was all about teaching entrepreneurs how to network to get more business, right? And get business faster. Didn't care. Fell on complete apathy. They did not care, right? Most of my business was coming through corporate work. But what were they coming to me for? Can you help me with sales? Can you help me with marketing? Right? Can you help me with lead magnets? Can you help me with emails? Can you help me with this? So I was like, okay, I need to sell them what they want, which is this thing over here. But guess what the number one activity is to get you all to do? Shocker, networking, because everything in your business is going to come from your networks, right? Sell them what they want, give them what they need. So you have to know, what do they want? What do they need? So if you go through and answer those questions, along with all the other questions I was already sharing today, right? You are going to get a lot of clarity around what that content should be. Okay. You have to know your market, friends. All right. Oh, hey, what's up, Megan? How are you? I haven't seen your face in forever. How are you? Using a quiz right now as my lead magnet, and it's pretty steadily bringing in folks. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Feel free to share your lead magnet here if you want. Oh, wait, no, you can't share links here. Ah, dang it. Never mind. Oh, well, that's cool. You can definitely share the name of your business if you want, and then folks can go find it. Okay, so do you actually need both? We talked about this already. No, we already did this section. Okay, so which email marketing software to choose? Okay, so again, I want you to think beginner friendly versus advanced features. Friends, there's always going to be an entry level beginner, and there's going to be the top of the top of the top. Okay, you don't need it. It's too much. It's too expensive. It's too overwhelming. There's too many things. You just need something simple, okay, that you can get up and running and going. All right. You need to think about things like automations now versus later. You need to be able to have functions like tagging or tagging or groups. Is usually with how like MailerLite calls it groups. I think MailChimp calls it tagging, but it's a way to segment people, right? You need to think about when somebody signs up for a lead magnet, they get a certain tag or a grouping, and then an automatic email sequence goes out. So you got to think about those kinds of things. And this is why we use these softwares. Most softwares are going to have these automations, these taggings, right? Ease of use versus fancy features. As I said, we want something that's easy and feels good to use. Budget considerations, as I said, do not go into expensive things. You don't need them. You'll get there. Just go into something that's inexpensive, okay? Tagging and segmentation basics, we talked about that. As I said, my recommendation is MailerLite for all the reasons that I said. Here again is my affiliate code. If you want to use it, feel free to. When we talk about DIY CRMs versus fancy CRMs, listen, you can use a Google Sheets or Excel or Airtable or probably even like Notion. I'm not as familiar with Notion. To me, Notion is incredibly overwhelming, but I have people who love it, right? So you can just use a simple Google Sheet or a Notion, Airtable, whatever. What we want to do is just think about what is the information I want to keep track of. I like name, email, like company name, social media links, website links, phone number if I've got it, right? How I met them, how I know them, were they referred to me by somebody? What is the potential that we can do together? I have like sort of like check boxes, like I can do some speaking with this organization. We can collaborate on XYZ, whatever, right? Like there's different people. You guys, have you seen my networking video? Hang on, let me grab it real quickly. Hang on. I have my networking video on the 4 types of people that you want to be networking with, or like 4 categories. Let me grab that for you. Build these 4 networks for faster growth, it's called. Here you go. So this will actually help you a lot in like, okay, how should I categorize folks? How should I segment folks? Okay, so you want to kind of be thinking about what is the information I want to track or keep track of? What are the notes I want? Am I going to put follow-up dates in there? The thing with doing a spreadsheet is you're not going to get a reminder. So you'll have to make sure that you're being disciplined on like once a week going in and checking that. You can also schedule reminders in your own calendar, but it's a simple way to get started. And what I like about doing it this way is it will, after, 3 months, 6 months of using it, you're going to like understand, I don't need this information, but this is the kind of information I need. And I have to put a column in here for this because this is specifically for my needs, what I need to do, so that when you do go get a fancy sort of CRM type thing, you know what to look for because you have been doing it yourself and you can track what you need and what you don't because everyone's different. And what features are important to you. You're like, this is annoying. I want something this can be automated, right? So you'll know what to look for. So again, like I said, I would for now, if you're new, just set up a Google Sheet and just start tracking what you think you got to track and let it evolve as you go, and then use that to inform future CRM purchases. Okay. Now, if you are looking at a fancy CRM, we want to make sure that it does have automations. There are pipelines in there, right? There are integrations like the less annoying CRM that I use. This is the one I use here. As I said, this one's like $15 a month. Anyways, and I quite like it. It's also very like when you make a contact, it prompts you to like add a task, add a follow-up, add a note. Like it's very good for that. Anyways, automations and pipelines integrates with your email, with your calendar. There's forms and things like that, contact forms, intake forms. Again, you want to think something with an easy learning curve with less noise. That's how I describe a lot of CRMs. They're very noisy. And so you get in there and it's so overwhelming. We want to go for something real simple, all right, with an easy learning curve. So there's less annoying CRM. It's my fave. I'm loving it. Decision factors. Okay. So just something for you guys to think about here. Decision factors. Volume of leads. Are you somebody who has you got like 30 leads coming in a month? Okay, you're going to probably want to get a CRM set up. That's too much to try to manage on your own, right? You're probably also going to want to get some support, some administrative support to help you manage those people and stay on top of your leads. But if you only have 5 to 10 leads coming in a month, then you're going to be fine with a spreadsheet. I am going to tell you that I want you to get more leads than that coming in. If you can handle it, Some people can't. They don't have time to do all the calls because they work a full-time job or have young kids or homeschool or whatever. But if you can handle it, I want as many leads coming in the door as possible every month. Okay. The complexity of your sales process. So, are you doing something like it's just an online program or a membership or a course or a tool, and I just tell people, hey, go get this thing, and they go buy it themselves? Okay, well, an email list will suffice for that, right? And a link to go purchase. But is it like a sales call required? They need to fill out an intake form. I need to go do some research before we talk. There's probably going to be 3 or 4 sales calls and probably proposals in there, right? So now that you're going to want to have a CRM that, again, you could still track it yourself, but you're going to want to make sure you've got a really good tracking process set up in place so that you're not letting anything fall through the cracks, right? Again, that was like one sentence, but like I'm already thinking about things like the SOP around this and the automations of creating proposals and sending contracts and sending invoices. Like there's all these things. There's a lot of things that happen in a complex sales processes, right? That we want to try to standardize and automate as much as possible. So then, simple preference. Just decide, what's your preference? Do I like a system or do I like doing it myself? And then that time versus money trade-off. And this is that thing I want to talk about briefly here because I forget my dad always says this. Something like you'll spend $1 to save a nickel. Is that have you guys heard that before? You'll spend a dollar to save a nickel, something like that. But it's where we will try to save money and in the end it costs us so much more. Either because you're spending so much time doing the thing that you're not selling. So you got no money coming in, right? Or you're trying to do all these random workarounds that end up costing you more for all these little integrations versus just doing the thing, right? Like paying for the thing. So when we talk about this time versus money, I know that there can be a hesitation to pay for people to do things when you think I can do it myself. But I need you to understand that if you're a business owner, you need to be doing sales, sales, sales. So anything that is taking time away from you getting out there and connecting and getting sales calls booked and having a sales call, right? Or getting out there if you are an online business and creating that content or getting those visibility opportunities and sharing those links to purchase your thing. Anytime that you are not doing that, you are going backwards. Okay. It's not even that you're not going forwards. It's not even that you're staying still. Because time doesn't stay still and bills come due. So if you are not selling, you need to understand you are going backwards. You are getting closer to being in debt and to being in financial issues. And, you're not learning what it takes for your customers to like what you do and to want to purchase. Like you're not learning about your market. You're not perfecting your sales process. You're not perfecting your delivery process and client onboarding process. You're going backwards. And so there are times to do things yourselves, and there are times where you need to bring somebody in to do it for you so that you can stay focused on moving the business forward, not trying to be a tech wizard or an admin wizard or a CRM building wizard. Okay. I just want to put that out there because there's this hesitation to invest in the people that can help you. And I understand if I don't have money, I don't have money, in which case I'm going to say, please go get a job. Because your business is going to require money. Okay. And if you can't get a job, then please sales, 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 sales is the only thing that matters. None of this matters. You can have a quick and dirty Excel or Google spreadsheet CRM. You know what I mean? None of this matters. Don't worry about a lead magnet. Just have an opt-in on your website. Okay. Like we have to cut away the things that are stopping us from selling if we don't have money. All right. I know we're at time, so I'm gonna get us through here. We're almost done. But I just wanted to kind of reinforce that you have to really get up in the morning and think, what am I doing today if I'm not selling? It sure as hell better be moving me forward and not moving me backwards. Otherwise, what are we doing? Life's too short, guys, and you got big, big things to do. So, when we talk about leveraging VA and admin support, here's some of the ways that having somebody in your corner helping you with this can help out. They could be helping with the data entry and updating contacts, right? Like one of the things that I do with our we have a new client success manager, Jenna Lucas. She's fantastic. I keep meaning to do a big announcement. I need to get that done. Anyways, I'll send her when people reach out with intros or reach out to work with me, whatever. I just send that to her and say, please go put them into my CRM, add this note, schedule a follow up for here, right? So like I don't have to do that. She'll go and do that, and she does it really quick, like real quick, boom, done. So tracking conversations and follow ups. You can have somebody who is staying on top of, like, again, after a conversation, I sent her the notes and I say, go add this to their thing and please schedule a follow up for here. Right. So you have somebody doing that. Like that's always to me. Yeah. I feel like, after like a doctor's appointment and they talk about how they have to spend so much time taking notes, like that's the part for me that if I'm being honest, I don't love. I would rather say, here's the synopsis, here's the key things. Can you please go make that look pretty inside their CRM area? Okay. That's me. So managing inbox and lead flow, having somebody who is managing all these things. The amount of times, like that was me the other day. I had like 5 people that wanted to talk about working with me that I just couldn't get. I just didn't physically have the time to get to them. I was like, Jen, please reach out, please book them into my calendar, put them into the CRM, right? So tagging and organizing contacts, maintaining your CRM hygiene, right? Creating weekly reports and summaries for you, doing the actual lead generation. So actually going into like emailing people or DMing people or reaching out to people and actually booking a call for you and putting them inside your CRM software, right? All of this stuff, it frees up your time to be able to work on lead generation and sales calls and delivery, right? Like putting yourself out there, that networking, that visibility, having these calls and delivering. And all of that stuff is taken care of for you, which means we've now expanded your capacity. You can probably double the amount of time that you're doing on sales calls and delivery because we have just expanded your capacity to sell more. And what did I say? As a business, it is sell, 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 sell. That is what you need to be doing. There's other things around that, yes. But at this stage of where you guys are at, it is sell, 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 sell. That is the only thing that matters right now. Okay. With the caveat that you are selling something awesome that is impactful and changing people's lives. Obviously, we're not out here selling like, I don't know, random doodads that don't matter. Like the assumption is if you're here, you are an impact, focused, benefit for society focused type of business. Okay. We're making an impact, guys. I don't want you to think it's just all about money. I mean, it is, but like, because that's my job, but you're here to make an impact. Let's remember that. Okay. So if you want to talk about doing any level of work with us, we can absolutely help you, whether it's done for you, done with you, or just strategic consulting and sending you on your way. We can get a lot done in an hour together of just consulting. But I will say, I'm gonna leave us alone because I feel like we've kind of talked about all this. It's like how to get sales. We've talked about this already, so I'm gonna leave this alone. But I will say this. If you've been here from the beginning, tools don't make sales, actions do. It is about visibility, networking, connecting, booking sales calls, having sales calls. Okay. Actions are what grow the business and not the tool itself. Consistency is always better than perfection. If it's just a Google spreadsheet, that's fine. If you send one email a month, that's fine. We're looking for consistency, not perfection. If you send an email a week, but maybe you think, oh, but I got to add this and I got to do that, and it's not quite right, just get it sent. Just get it sent. We want consistency, not perfection. All right. And then relationships are always going to beat out automations. Automations make your life easier. They make the load of building a business less, but it is always about relationships. It is about those emails, whether you're sending to your email list and you're sharing parts of yourself. You're connecting, you're inviting people to reply. Maybe you're hosting online gatherings together or in-person gatherings, or it's your customer relationship management, your CRM, and you are sending those emails to check in, to have those catch-up calls, right? Relationships are the foundation of all of this. These are just tools that make that relationship building and facilitating that sale easier. All right. So tell me in the comments, what is your next step? Are you going to focus on email list? Are you going to focus on CRM? I want you to pick one to focus on. You don't got to do both at the same time. Heck, if you're not doing either of them, we're already not doing it. So one is fine. So tell me what you're going to focus on. Just a reminder, if you haven't yet joined our Patreon community, which I think everyone has, but you can come join us here. I will be sending out the notes and resources and things from today. I'm probably going to take because I shared a lot of like structural stuff today. So I might take a couple of days to get this worksheet off to you guys, because I want to pull those pieces that I said. I gotta wait for the transcript. I'm gonna pull those pieces. I'm gonna put them into this and put this into a worksheet style where you can fill in the blanks. I think you'll find that really, really helpful. So I'm gonna take a couple of days to do that, because after this, I've got to go to a coffee right away. If you want to talk about working together, please do that. And then I wanted to tell you, we have a special guest coming next Friday. Do you know what? I won't put that whole thing in the thing. I'll put just the chat, the link. So next Friday, we have Becky Mullenkamp coming. We're going to be talking about, is it possible to build an anti-capitalist business? Becky has a really cool book coming out. And so we're going to be doing this as a fun way to give Becky some FaceTime with our community to talk about the principles of what she's all about. So in this case, we're going to be talking about, can you build a human first business in a capitalist world? So we're going to talk about things like why we can't mindset our way out of toxic capitalism. We're going to be defining what it means to build enough versus more. We're going to be talking about why putting women at the top of the hierarchy isn't liberation. And because again, hierarchy. And then we're going to talk about rest is resistance, but it hits different for different identities. So we need to be addressing that. Our next shop talk is happening Friday, May 8th at 10 a.m. So you can save your Pacific, so you can save your seat here. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you're watching the replay, leave your comments. I'll go back in and respond to them. Join us on Patreon if you haven't already. Join our upcoming events. And otherwise, you guys, let me come read your comments. But holy smokes, we pretty much did it. I figured we might not get through all of the content, but we did a pretty good job. Newsletters on your list for the fall. Fantastic. I would say to focus more so on CRMs, because a lot of your work is like in-person work, right? And so, right? Am I getting that right? And so it's going to be a lot of networking, visibility, booking phone calls, referral partners, collaborations, clients. Like, you're going to want to working on your CRM and your networks and keep that going. Keep the good times going. What else have we got? Oh, you are very, very welcome. Yeah, we covered a lot of ground today. I'm pretty impressed with us, guys. Pretty impressed with us. Megan, I think I saw something from you. You took a sabbatical, was supposed to be for a full year, but brand new biz came to you on a fluffy dopamine fueled cloud. So I ran with it. Oh, very cool. Fantastic. I love it. Also, what? Wait, what? Is the other business done? Did you close it? What I'm focusing on: Instagram, Substack, and YouTube, and create a kick-ass in-person one-on-one offer. I love it. So in terms of the CRM or the email list, I'm guessing that for you, it's going to be email list because you're an online business. So it's going to be email list, right? The one-on-one offer would still be email list, because you would just tell them to book a call to talk about the one-on-one offer, right? I love it. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. Last chance to say anything else before we go. You guys, I'm so bad. So it's Friday and it's sunny. And so I woke up this morning at 6:30 and I was like, all right, you have some things to do. Go do them. And I was like, nope, I'm going to play this cool new game that I'm obsessed with. It is called Solitaire Association. It's just real nerdy. And so I was playing that for a while, then I had a call with someone, and then now I'm here. And so I've had my pre-workout which is caffeine and no food. So I feel it. I'm bouncing off the walls. I'm high on life, guys. I'm high on life. I did. It needed to be done years ago. Oh, but I was resisting, trying to write on my way to success. But now I'm doing okay. Do you know what is so interesting about your comment on that, Megan, about it needing to be closed down for months or years? Um, since January has hit, I have worked with so many people who are like they were trying to push, like find that fire in their belly, get excited, continue to grow the business. And, within an hour or so, I'm talking to folks and I'm going, okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think that you might be done? Do you think it's time to evolve? And there are so many people who have realized, yeah, I've been trying to push a boulder up a mountain. Like this is done for me. And that's something that as entrepreneurs, because we are so close to the thing that we create, right? That it can be really challenging to say to ourselves, I think I might be done. Um, but it's perfectly normal because we as human beings, especially as entrepreneurs, are evolving all the time and growing and expanding all the time. So it is okay for something to be done, to feel complete, to have taken it as far as you want to take it, and then to move on to something else, right? Or an expansion of what you're doing, right? That's okay. So great example. Thanks for leading by example to Megan, because like you said, you've known for years. And I think a lot of you've heard that I really hit my breaking point in November myself, where I was like, why do I keep banging my head against the same wall? This is I'm not having fun anymore here. We're moving, right? And so, that's just a very normal part of the human experience. It's why breakups happen. It's why we change careers. It's why we move cities or countries. That's normal, and that's a lovely part of how we evolve as people. And so it's okay if the business feels complete and you're saying, I think I'm done with this, right? Fun about shame. LOL. Yeah. I figured that from the YouTube thing. Oh my gosh, you guys. Yeah, the fire horse, baby. I mean, it really is. Like this, but we're not messing around, man. We're going for it. We're friggin' going for it. All right, you guys. Speaking of going for it, I have to go meet a new connection for a coffee. She also just wrote a book all about finance and like business. So I'm very excited. She's bringing me a copy of her book. I'm gonna read that. And then what else am I doing? What are you guys up to this weekend? What am I doing? Oh, I'm going to get a blood test and an x-ray because my body is being weird. And then I'm meeting some friends for happy hour. It's a beautiful, lovely Friday, and I'm glad that I've gotten to spend the big chunk of it with you here today, you guys. So yeah, I love it. Tell me what you're doing. If you want to tell me what you're doing, I'm gonna hang up. So I'll read the comments later. But tell me what you got going on this weekend. Friends, big hugs, big love. You are amazing. Remember, building a business, it's hard, but you can do hard things. All right, you guys. Love ya. I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.